So hopefully these images might look familiar to you in that at least at the beginning of the school year we got to study in-person Egyptian art. And here, and dogs and cats were very, very respected in Egypt. We know with cats especially, the goddess Sekhet, which was Ra's mother, she had the head of a cat and the body of a woman, if you remember that. And also the Great Sphinx in Egypt in front of the pyramids is that huge sandstone sculpture which has the head of a human and the body of a lion. And this type of dog in ancient Egypt was called a jackal. And we know the god Anubis, he had the head of a jackal and the body of a human, and he was one of the gods of the underworld when you died. If you harmed a cat in ancient Egypt, I don't know if I remember telling you this, or maybe you do remember, you would get arrested. It was cats were very, very sacred, like I said, because they connected to the gods. In fact, remember in that Brain Pop video, I showed you some of the mummies, the Egyptian pharaohs were mummified their own cats as well because they had cats as pets. So that's how much they respected them. So this is like 2,000, 3,000 years ago. So these are the oldest pets we have on record for artworks. And then a little bit later in ancient Rome, so this is around, oh my goodness, this is like 2,000 years ago. This is called a mosaic, which is tiny little pieces of tile that ceramic tile that are glued all together to make an image. You might have seen a mosaic, or maybe you have one on a table or in your garden somewhere. And this image says canine cavern. Hold on, I gotta know exactly what it's called. Yeah, cave, C-A-V-E, canum, and that means in ancient Rome, beware of the dog. Has anyone ever seen a sign on somebody's house that says beware of a dog? Okay, so even now, some people train dogs as protectors, okay? And of course, dogs are trained in these days to help policemen, they're service dogs, so they can be very, very good protectors of us. They're seeing eye dogs, so a lot of different uses there. In ancient China, cats were very, very respected. A lot of people own cats in their house because they chased away pests like rats and other things that mice, if they entered your house, the cat would get rid of it. So a lot of people had cats in ancient China. I don't know more so than dogs. I would say they had more cats in China. Now, we were going to go this spring to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and maybe we'll be able to do that. Who knows, maybe next year. I would love it. Has anyone ever been to the Fine Art Museum in Boston? Thumbs up. It's amazing. So we were going to go on a field trip there, and like I said, hopefully we can do that when we come back to school. This is one of the paintings I was going to show you there. It's called Boy with a Flying Squirrel, and it was made in the 1700s, later 1700s, like the Revolutionary War period, around the time of Paul Revere and George Washington. And this boy is pretty fancy dressed, so you know he probably comes from a wealthy family. It might be hard to see for you, but that is a close-up of the flying squirrel. And as you see, he's eating a tiny little, looks like a little nut. He's got a chain attached to him, because if you didn't know this, in the 1700s, people would train squirrels as their pets. So this boy, this little flying squirrel, he's holding the chain as his little leash, is his pet. This is a little cup of water for the squirrel. It's his little water dish. Can you believe that? I've never heard of these days people training squirrels as pets. So that was in the 1700s. And then people often, you see portraits like, you know, in the old-fashioned days, so like this is from like 500 years ago, or the 1800s, they would have tiny little dogs or cats in their portrait paintings, wealthy families, because they cared for their pets so much. Even these days, people like to dress up their dogs and make them look very fancy. This is a sculpture, a more modern one that was just done a few years ago. It looks like little Scotty dogs that an artist did with bicycle chains. So these are actually bicycle chains that are all kind of connected together to make the fur of these Scotty dogs. Old bike chains, they must have spray painted them. And then the last one I wanted to show you, this is a photograph of an installation. This is called the Atomic Cats, or Radioactive Cats, where the artist, these are made out of plaster, and painted them kind of like this neon green color. And then the figures in the picture are all dressed in gray, and the whole background is gray, which really make the cats really kind of glow. They look like they're radioactive. And this artist did this about 30 years ago, no, 40 years ago, in the year 1980. It's a photograph, so not too long ago compared to the other artworks I was showing you. So that's a little history of cats and dogs in art. I am ready for us to start our activity, so please get your piece of paper ready to go. And again, if you're a dog lover, you can do all dogs for this activity. You're a cat lover, you can do cats. You could do a combination, or you can do any animal or pet that you want. I want you to have your paper the milkshake way, which is the up and down way, okay? And the first step is you're going to take your paper and just fold it in half to the bottom, the short way. So again, up and down way, take the top, fold it to the bottom. Thumbs up when you've done that step so I know we can move on. Okay, I want you to have your paper flat on your table, and I want the opening to be towards the bottom or towards your belly. Okay, then you're going to take just the top flap, okay, not both flaps, just the top, and fold this top flap to the top of this fold here, just like that. Okay, so when you open it, it should look like this. Okay, so taking that top flap, folding it up. I want you to keep it closed, because if you remember the ice cream drawing, the ice cream surprise drawing, this is going to be an animal surprise drawing, where we're going to draw an animal with the paper closed, and then when we open it up, we're going to turn it into a whole animal stack, all kind of surprise animals in between. All right, kind of like an animal totem pole. All the animals are going to be sitting on each other's bodies. Okay, so close it back up, and what I want you to do is we're going to design the head on this top part, okay? I don't want you to do it below this seam, because when we open it, we don't want half of the head, the face, to be here and half to be over here. So here's some examples. This is one I did of a little husky dog, and as you see, his facial face is all done above the fold here. Okay, if you're more into kitties, okay, it's the same thing. You could do pointy ears, but you can add whiskers. This little doggy, he's like a husky, has a tongue. Or, like I said, you are not limited to dogs or cats. Maybe you want to do a raccoon, a deer, a chickie, a fox, whatever, an invented creature. All right, so I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with a doggy. But like I said, you can change it. I'm going to leave the cat up here. So again, keeping your paper closed, you're going to do an oval shape, but leave some room at the top for the ears. And you could just start drawing now with your pencil. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my doggy. I'm going to give him floppy ears. Like I said, if you're doing a fox or a bear, round ears, whatever you want. I'm going to do the muzzle of my doggy. I'm giving him a little tongue. And I'm thinking I'm going to give him a little spot on his eye as well. Could be any kind of animal face you want, kiddos. It does not have to be like mine. So he's got a spot. I'm coloring in his nose. And like I said, we can add more. If you just want to do the sketching now, we can add the colors, more of the colors a little bit later. Okay, once you have your head designed, your animal's head, you can do the body. Okay, and what I like to do is kind of 2 curve shapes under the head. And if your animal's sitting, you could do 2 U shapes for the front paws. And I like to do little lines for the toes. And if you want to add, see how my kitty here has a back paw, or the husky here has a back paw, okay? You can add kind of curved shapes for the back paws with little toesies. And then you can connect the lines between them. I'm going to give my doggy a collar. He's going to have a striped collar. And his name is going to be Bob. Bob the dog. Oh, definitely if your animal has a tail, you can add a tail. Just have it coming from the side. Could be a curly tail. This one, my kitty needs a tail. Here, I'm going to add it there. Okay. And if you want to add a few more little lines here for the front paws to look like his front legs, see how I did little lines here and here? You can. It's up to you. Bob's going to have a few spots on his ears. All right. So even if you're not quite done with this top drawing, I'm going to show you how to add more. Okay, so once you're done with Bob or whoever you designed, you're going to go zoom. Oh no, he lost his head. Oh my goodness. So don't worry, we're going to draw another animal head here. Okay, but what we need to do now is design some other animals in between. So I'm going to do 2 little lines for Bob's body. Now, I don't think I'm going to go the cat or dog route. What am I going to do? I kind of want to do, I don't know, I'm going to do a frog, I think. So I'm going to do this round circle shape. I'm looking at this guy here. And frogs have like these huge eyes. Gonna have this, he's gonna have this huge mouth. Oh my gosh, he kind of looks like Kermit. And then I'm gonna give him a long tongue. Maybe he's catching a fly, who knows? There's his little fly. All right. I want to fit 2 more heads here. Okay, so I want to fit another head here. So I got to scrunch. But again, if you just want to do 1 animal in between, just do 3, a stack of 3. That's cool. Whatever you can fit. All right, what am I going to do next? Maybe I'll do this chicken. I'm just looking at this chicken guy right here. And later on I'm going to add my frog's long front arms too, but I'll do that later. you can just focus on the heads. And if you don't want to draw the body and just do a stack of heads, that's cool too. However you want to design it, it's fine. Just my little chickie. And now I gotta fit another dog's head, okay? Or cat, I guess. I'm gonna give him triangle ears. Kind of like my husky here, I'm thinking. Yeah, he looks like an elf dog. He kind of looks like he's like a little chihuahua. Little tongue. My birdie got a little squished in there. I don't have much of his body. We'll just pretend he's just kind of hiding behind. I'm going to give this froggy some long arms, touching the other dog's ears. So yeah, you can have the bodies kind of overlapping. It looks pretty good. They look pretty smashed. So as you see, when you close it, if you want to try it out, it looks like just Bob, and then Bob transforms into Froggy, Chick, and Elf Dog. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit of color to mine, and if you are at that point, or if you're still finishing up your drawing, you can do that, and then we'll do a share in a few minutes. Alright, there's good old Bob. When I open it, I have Frank the Frog, and this will be Cheeky Chick. Alright, I'm going to move it over. I'm going to put on my camera.